Hey ladies. Okay, sorry I'm a little late today. We have had a natural gas leak discovered in our house last night. The guy came to fix it this morning. I had a doctor's appointment and the cleaners are here. So, life is crazy right now, but hopefully you can see that there's almost always a window of time where you can fit this in, if I can provide no other wisdom right now. So today's topic is probably the one that I could talk about the most, but I'm going to give you just some basics, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to show some consistency in your business and to hopefully be able to generate the most interest and give you the most leads, if you will, to have people to talk to about different events. So, I talked yesterday about the challenge groups and how we typically run them and what the schedule we have is. In our team page, the pinned post should be the schedule for the month. And what I'm going to talk about today is a way to utilize that schedule to go ahead and plan your month and to do it via social media so you can generate interest among other people. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about Facebook like pages, which is where I'm going to start first. So Facebook technically, per their terms of service, does not allow you to sell from your personal page. And if you do, you run the risk of being shut down. So this is kind of a reason why a like page is a necessity. And what a like page is just a business page. And this is something that I struggled with for a long time, and I actually took 6 months to create one. So because I'm saying this, I think it's a good idea to go ahead and do, but I still think you should use your personal page to tell your story and to share your journey more so than your like page. And the reason being is that you will see, if you create a like page, invite all your friends to like it, only like 10% will like it, or 20%. And over time, you will have to build that up, and it's a lot harder to do, but I still think you should use it because you get greater reach on your like page than you do your personal page. The one thing I'll say about a personal page is if you're in this business and you are serious about building this business, you probably want to make your personal page public. If you have issues with doing that because of safety or security purposes or something like that, let me know, and we can talk to some of the other coaches whose husbands are in special forces or in the military, and then for those reasons they haven't decided to make their personal pages public. If that's the case, you really are going to have to do a like page and rely heavily on it. You might want to put like your maiden name versus your your maiden name versus your married name, or something like that. But it can be done. I just think that you have to have your page set to public so your friends can see what you're doing, so your friends of friends can see what you're doing, and so you have some good people built in that you can expand your network to right off the bat. That being said, a few tips about posting. So typically to get going, what I would recommend is starting to post once a day, at least on your page. And the reason why I am telling you to do this is because it gives you greater visibility on Facebook. And as I stated in the inviting or messaging phase, when it comes to adding people to your network each day, those people that you're adding to your network need to see that you're active on Facebook so you can start to have interactions with them at the outset, and you can have greater visibility in their feeds, because Facebook essentially sees who you're talking to, sees who's commenting on your posts or liking your posts, and then makes your actual post show up higher in their news feed. And that's what you want ultimately. People are not always going to come to you in this business, and everything I say is today you should also keep in mind that you still have to be talking to people individually on your own and starting conversations. This does not get you all the customers that you want. This sometimes doesn't get you any in the beginning, and it takes some time. So keep that in mind. But make sure that you are posting consistently. And the general rules for posting, I think when it comes to your Beachbody business, is make it about 80 to 90% personal and then 10% business, or 10 to 20% business. Now, that being said, when I'm saying personal, I'm still saying share your workouts, share why you feel good, share your meals, things like that. But actual Beachbody related posts or calls to action to join a group with you, those should be much more limited. And I can give you some good formulas based on some trainings I've recently done, just to give you an idea. And in our team page, I'll show you right. There's Janae. I have and this is really helpful to get started, but in the files, you have So let's see. I think they're in the photo. They must be in the photos. Sorry, guys. Okay, of course I didn't look at it before I got started, but I have some social media guidelines here. And this gives you some good ideas of what you can post. So Mondays, you could post a motivational quote. And this gives you a schedule, actually. I think that posting 6 times a day is going to be a lot. I don't know if that's really possible for most people. I say 3 to 5 times a day. Once you get comfortable doing it consistently is necessary. And you will want to post at peak times. But I think 6 times a day could be overkill and could actually result in people unfollowing you. And then Tuesdays, you could do Transformation Tuesday. Wednesdays, you could do like Woman Crush Wednesday or like Wellness Wednesday. Thursday, you could do Throwback Thursday. Friday, Flex Friday, Flashback Friday. So this gives you some good ideas of themes that you can run on a weekly basis. And this is a really helpful way to get started because most people don't know what to say or do. And I totally get it. I've been there and I still sometimes don't know what to say or do. This actually gives you more tips about Instagram, times to post. What I will say on timing is, it really depends on your audience. But what I tend to see is that posting once in the morning, posting once in the afternoon, and then posting once between like 7 and 8:30 p.m. is probably when you will want to put your post out there at peak times. If you're only going to be posting once a day in the beginning, I would probably say make it either first thing in the morning, like, not before everyone's awake, but early in the morning, or between like that 7 to 8:30 p.m. window when people have gotten their kids to bed, dinner's done, they're sitting down and kind of just playing on Facebook. So that gives you an idea of some types of topics that you can post. I will also post, I thought this was in here, but there's a couple of pictures that give you ideas as well that I have from some groups I've done, and that is helpful as well. And then I have put, for your sake, top coaches to follow media. This is another file in the team page. One thing I typically recommend, and it's right here, top coaches to follow on social media, is when you get started with this, it's really helpful to go and follow some of these people to get started and see what they're posting about. I mean, you obviously will take the same audience that they have, and I guarantee a majority of their followers are Beachbody coaches, so I wouldn't get too discouraged in a comparison trap there. But it's really helpful to kind of see what the content that they're posting looks like. And in the beginning, this is exactly what I did, and I kind of used it for inspiration for myself to get started as well. Bye, thanks, Isabella. And so I would recommend maybe going through that and looking on Instagram or Facebook to follow some of these individuals. And don't do it forever. I think we tend to get caught up in other people's strategies or other people's whatever their niche is. We can't be that person. We need to be ourselves, and ourselves are our best asset. So keep that in mind, but definitely use that as a helpful tip to get started to kind of see what other coaches out there are doing and how they're running their pages. The one thing I will say is in this training I just did, that's a recruiting training, but I think this could be used for any purposes. What we were instructed to do is on Tuesday evenings post a Transformation Tuesday picture, so like a before and after, and it can be really basic. Like, for me, some of my Transformation Tuesdays right now, because I'm so pregnant, have to be more personal than physical, and that's totally fine. Then on Thursday, he suggested posting a Throwback Thursday, and then on Sundays, you would always post a call to action at night. So that's like an invite to an actual group. And that formula works really well. I think Thursday nights and Sunday nights and Monday nights are the best nights to actually put I'm inviting you to this upcoming group type post. And I think that's when you'll get the most response and people will see it more. So keep that in mind as you go. And the one thing I will say, again, because this is a team effort, and because this is something where you're not supposed to be on some island doing this by yourself, if we have a call to action post that we put out there about a challenge group and you want to copy the language and personalize it to make your own, that is totally fine. I mean, feel free to reach out to me or whatever coach you're going to be copying that off of, but that's totally fine. You don't have to reinvent the wheel with this, so I hope that helps. And again, this can be done on your personal page or on your like page. A lot of times what I do now is post most things on my Instagram and then on my business page, and then I might share it to my regular page, or I tag myself in the regular page. But sometimes I literally just put the same post on both. And I think for getting started, putting the same post on both is probably the way you want to go. I think it's just going to take you a while to build up like page audience to where you actually feel like anyone's listening to you. So I think putting this type of posting on your personal page is important as well. And I'm talking about most of this in the Facebook or Instagram context because that's what I use. I honestly haven't figured out Snapchat for a business sake. I haven't figured out Pinterest. If you are somebody who's more into content and likes to write, maybe a blog and then you put it on Pinterest is the way to go. If that's the case, I can certainly help you find a lot of helpful YouTube videos that help you run your business that way. But I'm talking more in the Facebook and Instagram context because that's what I've done trainings on and that's what I personally use. Okay, this is a lot of information, so I'm sorry I'm talking fast. Now, to get going with this, I suggested that everyone create some sort of I'm open for business type post. And that is kind of one of my takeaways for today. I would like everyone to consider doing this. And I would say do it either tonight or Sunday night. And basically tell people what it is you've been doing, what you're working on, and go ahead and say if you're interested in learning more about this program or about the groups that I'm participating in, please comment below or reach out to me or something like that. I think you all have to put some sort of open for business sign out there so people know that you are a Beachbody coach, because I'll tell you this, once you start posting your workouts and you start posting your meal plans and things like that, people are going to go online and order it themselves because they'll see your results and they won't know you're a Beachbody coach. So you have to make sure you put yourself out there and say you're a Beachbody coach. Feel free to say this doesn't mean I think I'm a professional. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not a nutritionist, but I am someone who can help you with accountability and support through the groups that I have or something along those lines. I think that's something that you kind of have to do to really make it known that this is something that you are engaging in as a business venture at this point. Now, I wanted to talk about creating a Facebook like page. I'm not going to go through the full process of doing it because there are helpful YouTube videos that you can go and find, and I'll try to find one helpful for you and put it in the group about how to create your Facebook like page for Beachbody coaching particularly. But I'm going to turn around the camera and just show you where you would get started with this. Once my notification. Yep. Okay, so you have right here on the left hand side pages, and you can go, whoopsie, sorry, I've never done a fundraiser. You can go right here and choose create page. You can choose local business or place. Some people do public figure as well. I think when I set it up, the video I watched suggested I do local business or place. Let me see. Maybe I did do public figure. Public figure, okay, yeah, so public figure coach. Then you type in your name and you get started. And I'm just going to show you my business page so you can kind of see what it looks like. And don't compare yourself to what mine is. I've actually just revamped everything because I did this training and I paid for this banner to be made. I think it was like $20 to $30. I paid for these professional photos to be made. You don't have to do that. I mean, I literally for a year had pictures I made my husband take out in a park of me in workout clothes doing random things. And I made my own banner. And you could do that easily at this free site called Canva. Canva.com. And here, you see what it lets you do? It lets you choose social media, presentation, and then you have, let me see. I can't remember if it's social media or Facebook post. Well, I don't know the sizing, so you'll have to look at the sizing, but it lets you do, oh, here, maybe there's one. Like maybe Facebook app or just social media in general. But you could create your own cover photo in this. You can put your own photo here. I always suggest do a picture just of you so people will know who you are. And then it'll ask you to create your like page name. Use your name, because if people search on some sort of search engine or something like that, and say your page is called like a healthy lifestyle, no one's going to know that's you. You want somehow for this to be connected back to you, so make sure this is your name. But once you get started with your like page, the one thing I typically suggest is that you don't ask anyone to like for at least like 2 weeks before you start sending out those invites, because you need to post content on there before someone can like your page. So what I did is, for about 2 weeks before asking anyone to like my page, I would post the same exact things on Facebook personal page as I did Facebook like page. And I went back and I pulled some old recipes and, photos and things like that, and I put them on there, and so it looked like there was content right when you went to the page. And I think that is what you need to do. Don't get, just really excited that the page is there and start inviting everyone. And then what you're going to want to do is invite people to like your page. So what I typically recommend is you go through your friends list and you invite everyone to like your page from your friends list. And then after you do that, sorry, all these analytics throw me off. After you do that, you might want to log into your husband or your significant other's account. Ask all of their friends to like your page. And then from there, maybe your mom. And it's a tedious process, you guys. Don't feel like you have to do this right away. This is just something to keep in mind for later. And then what you'll see is you have created at least somewhat of an audience for yourself. And when you start actually posting things on this page, friends of those friends will see your posts if those friends are liking it. And then the events, which I'm going to tell you about in a second, will get greater visibility as well. Now, one thing you can do on Facebook is choose something to go to the sign up button. I would suggest doing something there to take advantage of it. Maybe I have to just test it. And I haven't done anything very spectacular here. Literally, this is just a Google form. And you're welcome to copy this. Honestly, I copied this off of another coach. But you just make a Google form and you basically give a way to capture information so you can start to generate leads from this, basically. And I have started to use this form anytime I advertise for a group as well. And it kind of is like a passageway to entry. And the people that fill it out typically are going to be the most serious. So I would suggest creating a form such as this and copying and pasting it in the comments whenever you are inviting to groups. I know Stacy does this. I think she's had really good success with it. I do it for both invites to coaching and for invites to challenge groups. I have a little bio that goes along with the banner page here. And again, I have the application form here. That's a client interest form. And then I have a coaching application. This has only been filled out 3 times, you guys. So don't think I'm like some rock star over here. I just suggest having it look like a business so people know what they're doing when they go to your page. I don't have my own website, so I never really use this much, but I have linked my website here to where if somebody really wanted to shop, on Beachbody, what they could do is come here. It's linked to my page. I need to update it, and then they can shop all the fitness programs. That's probably a good idea to do as well. And then the last thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to suggest everyone do this, and I think you can do this from your personal page or your like page, but is create an event for any group you want to invite to. And I'll tell you why. Like this free Crock-Pot and Ab Challenge group event. This is super simple, you guys. You could literally take a picture of yourself, drop some text on it, create your event, and I think I copied some of Taryn's language for her event. And I create my own event for every group I'm going to do. And then what I do is I invite 500 people to these free events. And it is a good idea to do this for the free stuff, because even if the person you invited doesn't say they're going, if their friends see that they've been invited to the event, you will start to get kind of random other people saying they're going to your events, especially if you do it from a like page. These others, these weren't necessarily my friends right away, but they're people I can reach out to and potentially have as a customer. So I would strongly suggest creating an event for every group that you do. And to do that, you come down here to create event, And I suggest you create your own versus sharing mine so we can keep up with whose is whose. You can upload your own photo. You can do a short name. Location is always going to be your home. A start date at least, a little descriptor, and then create your own event. And after you have been doing this for a while and you're busier, it's a great way to keep up with people as well. And so, like, I will just show you. I need to go in and create some events today. This is just the best way I've come up with to actually keep track of who's doing what. Like, I put the New Coach Academy on there. That was probably unnecessary. Fit for the New Year 12-week challenge. Again, I just put some language here. I have invited basically all of my past customers, anybody who's talked to me about a program recently, and then a few other random people. But typically with these events, I don't invite as many. But I always invite people that are kind of on the fence, and I wait to see obviously what they say, but I make sure I continue conversations with them to determine if they are going to be going to that event or not. And then it gives me a way to keep track of who is going to be added to the group, that challenge group up. I think that creating events is probably one of the biggest factors, that and running free groups, that has changed my business from last year when I was hitting just like Success Club 10 to this year when I typically hit like Success Club 20. And I know you guys are still getting familiar with these numbers, but the reason being is I think that, one, if you do something consistently, like running the free group, people know every single month on the first week of the month that you're going to do this free group. They'll start to tell their friends, they'll start to attend regularly, and they may very well likely turn into customers who want to do longer groups for you. Then two, when you actually create the event, you can go live in the event to generate interest. You can post pictures in the event. You can post before and afters, like good transformation stories, and you can really start to generate interest that way. And it helps make conversations with people that may be interested a lot easier because you aren't just like cold messaging people to ask them if they want to join. So what I would suggest is, obviously yesterday we discussed what challenge group you wanted to start off with first. Once you have picked your challenge group, I would go ahead and create an event for that. And obviously you want to put your I'm a Beachbody Coach type post out there, and we can help you with crafting something like that. And then create an event for the group, and then you have something to actually invite to. Again, you can do this from your personal page until you're ready to create your like page. I don't think you have to go spend like hours doing this tonight. But if you are consistently creating these events on your personal page, and people see them, I think it starts to generate a bit of a following for you, and it makes you look like you have your legitimate business that you are searching for. So even if your goal is just to get the cost of your Shakeology covered, or if it's to earn, an extra couple $100s a week, I think consistency with these types of behaviors is super important. And it's really a great way to help you generate more interest and have more conversations going at one time. So that is the bulk of what I wanted to cover for social media. I am not going to sit here and go through how to set each thing up. What I'll do is go find a couple of helpful videos I can post in our group page so you can watch those if you'd like to create a like page, if you'd like to create specific events for the groups that you want to be adding to. That's why I put the calendar in our team page so you can create your own events as you go. I always suggest, rather than using stock photos for your events, which you can totally do. I do that for the free clean eating ones. But the longer challenge groups, maybe make it a more personalized picture of you so it catches people's attention. Put your own language in there or copy the language that we've used. And feel free to just kind of do what I do for now. There's no need to, reinvent the wheel, especially when I've been doing this now for like over a year and have started to see some real consistent growth with it. And feel free to, invite to these events as you go. Maybe you start conversations. Maybe people don't respond at all. That's okay. This is going to happen. But I think this is a really great and easy way to start making conversations a little bit more easily because someone has already exhibited an interest in what you're doing. That being said, like I said in the beginning of the call, you still have to have one-on-one conversations going on with people that you start or you initiate, but this is a great way to supplement that and start to gain kind of like your set customer base of people that want to stick with you, and then they know they can rely on you to be hosting an event with your team on a monthly basis. A couple of apps Stacy suggested maybe that I tell you guys about are like there's a 21 Day Fix app out there for people who do your groups that want to track their food. The My Challenge Tracker app I talked about, and you can certainly download that and play around with it. You do have to have an invitation to a group to kind of really see its full utility, but some of you have already used it. And then the Coach Online Office is now available in app form. I don't have that link right off the top of my head, so I'll have to send that to you separately. I think that the only other question I had received so far was how do you post on Instagram and generate interest on Instagram? And I'll be honest with you, I just post the same exact things. I actually have my Instagram account linked to my business page, and I just click share from Instagram to my business page for almost all of my posts, unless it's something completely personal that I don't want shared on my business page. And I duplicate that way. And then I'll go back in and I add in hashtags. I haven't done it in a while. I need to. And on Instagram, you can add up to 30 hashtags, and that kind of just gives you a way to start expanding your reach on Instagram. And what I would say about that is do things that are personal to you. Like if you, and I'm going to use some of the coaches in our group's examples, but like if you're a mom who loves Disney, like you could put Disney Freak or Disney Mom or something like that as one of your hashtags, and that starts to generate interest. If you are a dance mom, maybe use that. If you're a soccer mom, maybe use that. If you are a huge Clemson fan, just because I see Jenny's on here, maybe use that. If you are someone who has a specific dietary restriction or a specific disability or physical limitation, you can hashtag that. And the same type of concept can go for Facebook advertising later if you ever get to that place. But, you know, I think I was talking to Jenna about this week too. Like she was saying she didn't know how to connect with people. And my message to her was, well, you have a young child that has a lot of dietary restrictions. There are tons of special interest groups on Facebook for that, I'm sure. There are ways you can incorporate that into your hashtags, and there are ways you can market yourself to be like the, dietary restriction friendly mom, and start to gain your own following. Like Jenny, I think she's put a free group together just for healthy recipes, and she's added a lot of her friends to it. If you are a mom dealing with like dairy restrictions, you could create your own Facebook group and start sharing dairy-free recipes that are toddler friendly and really start to generate a following. I was on a call yesterday with some other Diamond coaches in the Southeast region, and there was a lady who's in her 50s. She is a coach, she is a diabetic, and she created her own page, and it's called the Sugar Mamas, for diabetic women, and she has like over 500 people on this page now, and I want to say in the last 2 weeks alone, she sold 20 challenge packs out of that page. Just because she's built up her following, she runs free diabetic friendly groups for these people. This is something that, is so personal, and so it's hard for me to say like what your brand is, but your brand is really what makes you you. Like if you're like me, pregnant mom, toddler mom, you share those things. If you, like my mom has all of her dietary restrictions, like that's something I could certainly start to share and try to work around. You have to kind of figure out what makes you unique and where you might be able to find a niche of people that you could help within this if you want to, if you're really serious about growth. And from there, you can basically create your own groups that you want on Facebook. You can invite to them. You can figure out what hashtags you should be using on Instagram, and you can really start to create a complete business plan for yourself. And that's not something I can tell you step by step how to do, but it's something that I can tell you is a great idea to think about. You think about who your target customer is, or who a lot of people say avatar, based on what your unique traits are, and you start to really market to those people because there's a giant subset of those people out there that need help and that are just intimidated basically to begin on their own, or to see, like some sort of specialist that could help with those issues. And if you already have those issues and you're dealing with it, at home on a real life family basis, then capitalize on it. If it's a medical need, if it's a specific dietary need, if it's a physical limitation, you can certainly be kind of that support system for anybody else who is going through the same thing. And I think there's a giant need for that out there. So if you want to talk a little bit more about that with me specifically, then let's chat, because I think I could help at least get your kind of like creative juices flowing when it comes to generating maybe some hashtags to use, or maybe a free group that you can run. And I'm certainly happy to help you actually run the groups, although my area of expertise may not be exactly what yours is. So I hope that's helpful. It's a lot of information. I'm going to try to find a couple of helpful YouTube videos for setting up the like page, setting up the events, and kind of give you a way that you could get going. I mean, typically what I try to do is, like right now that our free group is going on this month, my goal is usually during the week of the free group to go ahead and create events for every other group for the rest of the month. And so today I'm going to work on doing that. And I reuse a lot of the same language. I don't do anything that's like all that creative, honestly. But it gives me a great way to keep everything kind of in order and to go ahead and start promoting within those groups, so I can make sure I am filling them up with the right amount of people that I want to fill them up with. So I hope that helps. I'd like to see you guys post your coaching intro posts on your social media. If you're really not comfortable with that, then let's talk about some other ways you could get started. But I think that's going to be really integral to kind of kicking off your business and allowing you to start inviting to a group. And then I'd like to see you go ahead and put an event together for whatever group it is you're doing, or whatever group you decided yesterday will be your first group. So this is a lot of information I've covered this week. It's, not necessarily all laid out in the most orderly format, but it's kind of all of the things that I wish would have been told to me when I got started with this, because I think had I discovered some of these tips and tricks a little bit earlier on, I probably could have started a bit faster, which is, maybe it wasn't meant for me at the time, but that's okay. And so I hope maybe, based on whatever your goals are and whatever your, desire is in terms of pursuing this business further, that these tips have helped you. I am here for you always, you guys. My goal, honestly, for anyone is to help them achieve whatever their goals are. I say it all the time if I have a one-on-one call with you, but if you want to run with this, I'll run with you. If you want to sprint with this, I'll sprint with you. If you just want to walk, I'll walk with you. I'm not pushing anyone to do anything beyond what they are motivated to do. And I think that this is one of these businesses that is so individualized, because you really have to take control over your day. You have to take control over the amount of activity that you're doing, and you have to make it your own. So I can't force you into that, but just know that I am your support system here, and I ultimately am here to help you kind of tap into your full potential in this if you want. And I am just praying and rooting for everyone to win in the end. And I think ultimately what that means is helping as many people as possible and making sure we are helping ourselves as much as possible with this. So I just want to tell you all thank you again for being here. I might have like a little short post tomorrow just to kind of wrap things up, because I feel like leaving it hanging on the social media front is a little hard. If you have questions about this, please post them. And I would like to talk just maybe a little bit tomorrow about completing that business quick start and tapping into your why and going ahead and completing the rest of that form, since I only had you complete form the boxes 1 through 3 before we got started. So I probably will just jump on briefly tomorrow. But thank you. That's a lot to say. Ask any questions, as always. I love that you're asking them in the group so everyone else can benefit from them as well. And I still think it's important that we all kind of talk individually to help you create your plan based on what your goals are. So after this, please, please, please reach out to your upline coach and go ahead and jump on the phone to formulate that plan if you haven't already. I do think it's really required that you complete all the steps from these videos though first, because we can't give you that formula to move forward unless you've done some of the legwork to get there. So have a great rest of the day. I'm sorry again I'm a little late. Things are crazy around here, but I'm here for questions and support as needed. So love you guys, and thanks for being here. Bye.